Hi everyone, I'm Dodge the Grave, and today I'm hanging out with horror narrator Booze and Booze. How are you doing today, man?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
I'm great, thank you for asking. So, I was going through my list of Twitter followers to find someone that I hadn't interviewed yet, and I ran across yours. I ran across you on Twitter, and I'm so glad that I did because you have like such a good voice for narrating.
Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate that.
You're welcome. So, why, thank you.
Why? Yeah, I should have really gotten. I should have flipped the switch for you. It was like, why? Thank you.
Put on the narrator voice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yep.
It is a little different from your normal voice. I would probably say it's more assertive than your normal voice.
Yeah. It's like I've had family members tell me like it's hard for me to listen to your narrations because you're so serious. Like
Mm.
any other time of the day, I'm being sarcastic or being a man child or cracking jokes or whatever else you want to call that or label that. So I've had quite a few friends and family members say that to me like, it's really hard to listen to you narrate, man, because you're so serious the whole time. And it just doesn't sound like you.
Mm. Yeah, I get that too. They um they say I sound too mm, saucy. I'll say saucy.
Saucy, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or I sound too shoot, too much like a narrator. Yeah, whatever that
Yeah,
means.
I understand.
Yeah. Eh,
Yep, I do.
but I don't hear it when I narrate it. When I'm narrating, I don't hear that voice.
Right, I don't either. I
Mm,
don't.
mm. So I listened to your first narration.
Oof. That's a brave thing to do. I don't know how you did that because I don't think I can even go back and listen to that without being like, turn it off, turn it off.
Kill me. Anything,
Yeah,
kill me.
like oh my God, what? And I did like I think it wasn't that long ago, but I did go back and tried to re-listen to it just to see how far I've come.
Yeah.
And good Lord, I cannot believe that I was confident enough to put that out into the ether because that was so bad. It was so bad. But I guess I'm probably any channel or narrator out there, whatever you want to say, would go back and listen to their first whatever episode or something would probably say something similar. So
Everyone. Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
You're not the first. You definitely won't be the last one
yeah. I, know.
that
Yeah, I don't think so.
that I've heard the first narration of. And, it's the
Yeah.
standard background noise,
Oh yeah.
plosives, blah, blah, blah.
Right. I don't think I put like any like space in between any of my words like whatsoever. It was just like boom, 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 boom,
Yes.
boom, 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 boom. I was like, oh my gosh, dude, take a breath.
Yes. I noticed that too.
It didn't sound natural at all. It sounded like one of those like robotic voices that people do when they're narrating and stuff too. So, but yeah, it's definitely come a long way. I think because at one point in time I had it wasn't the greatest mic in the world. It definitely was a pretty cheap microphone, and then I didn't know what I was doing when it came
Mm,
to editing.
mm.
There was obviously insane amount of background noise, and then I also found out the cable that I was using to plug into my microphone was bad, so it was like having this big, huge, like shrill shriek throughout this entire time, and I had no idea that that's what it was doing or that's what the problem was.
Oh,
And so I would
man.
have to like painstakingly try to go through it and use like noise reduction and all this kind of stuff just to get it. And I remember Mr. Revenant. I don't know if you know who he is or have
Mm-hmm.
ever
Yes.
had talked to him or anything like that, but he had me on his channel pretty early on when I first started, and a lot of my narrations that I sent to him were stuff that sounded pretty close to my first one, and I'm like thinking back
Wow.
now, I'm like, dude, why did you let me come on your channel?
Why did
That
he?
sounded. I don't know.
Oh, we still
It
don't know.
sounded. It sounds like. It sounds like. It just sounded awful. Just sounded
Mm.
awful. So I don't know. I was very fortunate that he was. He allowed me to come on. So yeah.
When you heard it on his channel, did was he able to like edit it out or?
I think he did some more work on his end in order to
Mm,
probably fix it, and he was probably just being polite about it and didn't say anything. He's like, "Oh yeah, they sound great." And here I'm thinking like, okay, I did okay. And then going back and
going
re-listening to it,
back.
I'm like, oh man, oof,
Yeah,
that was rough.
yeah. Cause yeah, you get the audio and you try to get it to
Yep,
match to yours as much as possible
absolutely,
or fix it,
absolutely.
but
Yeah, yep.
some you just can't.
I've done big collaborations in the past, and now I don't do like I've kind of narrowed down my search when it comes to like only people that I've talked to or trust in order to like have that quality there, and then I'm sure you've probably experienced it too, where you talk to somebody or reach out to somebody, they say, hey, yeah, I'll get that story done for you, and then it's like almost like pestering them, like, hey, deadline is here, I'm still haven't got your story. I've dealt with a few people like that, and then I've also dealt with people where I didn't really listen to any of their stuff, and I just assumed
Yeah.
that they would have decent quality. It doesn't have to be like, 10 out of 10 for me.
Right.
Like, I'm not that picky or much of a snob. It's just decent. And then I get it and I'm putting it in the episode and listening to it. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I probably should have vetted this person a little bit better before I did that. And I kind of had to do something similar with him where I just like fixed it as much as I can and still put it in because I don't want to be the asshole that snubs them out
Right.
completely.
Yeah.
So,
That's the worst.
yeah, yeah.
D, all of the above. Yeah, I experienced all of the
Right.
above.
I'm sure. Yeah.
Yeah, and then after a while, like at first, you're like, yeah, I'll collab with anybody. I'll do,
Hmm.
yes, whatever. I don't care how many subs you have. And then
Right.
after a while, you're just like, mm.
Yeah, I get why, because I was like no shame just sliding into like top tier narrators DMs like, hey, would you want to collab? Hey, I'm new. Would you want to collab? Like, and I get why a lot of them probably left me on red because
Mm,
I'm not going to tell you no, but I'm not going to tell you yes either, that type of thing, because they
right,
probably experienced it at some point in their time on YouTube or whatever where they've got burned enough that like, hey, I'm not going to do this anymore,
right.
which makes sense. So,
Yeah, that's a lot of work to get audio from someone who's, you know, their audio isn't fantastic or even
right,
good.
right.
And you don't want you don't want to be the one that to go back.
Yeah, yeah, exactly, exactly. It's definitely an awkward situation too once you put yourself in that box too. So,
I started having them like try out. I mean, because I would probably listen to the audio on their channel,
hmm,
um, and then maybe it wasn't like I'm not so sure if their audio would fit in with mine,
yeah,
and so I would be like, look, just if you could just read these lines for me so that I can get an idea of what your audio sounds like,
hmm.
I'll let you know if I can take it. And uh, nine times.
What's your like the way to let people down? I'm curious to hear what's
Well,
your standard like. Oh yeah, we appreciate that, but we actually, oh yeah, about that. Sorry about that. Oops.
well, the best thing to do is to just be straight with them and not
Yeah,
like blow smoke up their
that's
butt.
fair. That's fair.
Because that's what I would want.
Yeah, and that's true. That's true.
Like, look, you need a better mic.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like it's not something where I can do background noise remover or something. Like you have your audio is so much.
Yeah, yeah. I've definitely a lot of them where it's just there's too much going on. It's not just
Mhm.
one singular thing that you could
Yes.
easily snip out. There's just multiple things going on to the point where like I don't have the time nor probably the things to go through and actually make this sound reasonable. So,
Yeah, and I didn't have RX9 back then. Like it, That helps with removing background noise, but
Hmm.
like additional background noise, but really
Yeah,
Audacity is the main place where I remove background.
right.
But if it's like so bad that if I took out the background noise, it messes up with your narration, I can't.
Right, because there's also a point where you start removing a lot of that background noise and stuff where it starts to reverb voice and stuff to the point where it just sounds robotic and weird and yeah, in my experience, obviously early on, I got lucky with Mr. Revenant, but after that, anytime anybody reached out to want to collaborate with me, I would take 2 or 3 times what I would take for my channel to ensure that that piece of audio that I'm sending them is perfect from front to back. Because, it's just like if they're nice enough to let me be on their channel, I do not want them to have to do any extra BS on their end, just take it and place it where you need it, that type of thing.
I bet they really appreciate that.
Yeah, and 9 times out of 10, I get that normally back now too. Whenever I do collaborations with people, like I said, it's usually only people I've worked with multiple times in the past, and I know they're gonna give me top-notch quality, and I don't have to worry about that type of thing anymore. So
So would you recommend someone who's just starting out to take that chance and, shoot that shot, even though it's with a narrator that's way bigger than they are?
I definitely would. I don't think I'd be where I'm at right now if I wouldn't have put myself out there in a lot of ways. I got very fortunate and very lucky with quite a few big narrators, like people that I listened to for years, and were like, these are like they're like superstars, celebrities in the narrating world. And then here I am having conversations with these people, and it was just wild. And I got very lucky that they were kind enough to put me in one of their episodes. So yeah, I mean, if anybody's listening to this or I talk to anybody in the future, I would definitely still recommend just put yourself out there. Worst thing they can do is leave you on red or tell you no, and at least you tried.
Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah.
Absolutely. For sure. Like, short answer is yes, absolutely. You take that
Hmm.
chance. They're just people. We're just people.
Exactly. It's weird, but like because I was just talking to another buddy of mine about it the other day because I was having that because the first time that I Joel from Let's Read messaged me on Twitter like I don't know, it was like a year or so ago, and I was freaking out. Like I was like fangirling out. Like I called my wife and everything was like, Joel from Let's Read just messaged me on Twitter, and she's like, Okay, I don't know who that is.
Right?
And I'm just like, oh my God. Yeah, like it was a huge deal. And then I've talked to
Yes.
him quite a few times since then. He's just a normal dude, like,
Yeah.
but yeah,
Just shoot your shot.
shoot your shot. Exactly.
Yeah. I probably, yeah, I took a chance with you and you said
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm pretty easygoing, pretty open guy too when it comes to this type of stuff, and I like that we have this niche little community where most of the people that I've run across are really nice people. I don't think I can only count maybe on one hand where I've had I wouldn't even say bad experiences, just difficult experiences for the most part. Outside of that, like everybody in this community is really cool and really super nice and welcoming. So
For the most part, yeah.
yeah, yeah, I'm sure there's still bad eggs out there, but I guess maybe I haven't run across too many of them yet.
That's good. That's
Yeah,
good.
yeah,
We love you, good apples.
absolutely.
Y'all are awesome. Thank you for
Hmm.
making this community the weird, talented place that it is.
It is. It is.
Your wow, that was a huge tangent.
It was. It was. It was. I don't know if you got a time restraint on this thing, but I'll
three,
try not to.
4 hours. No, I
3 to
am
4 hours. Okay.
I am not complaining about
Okay.
tangents. I'm all about the tangent life.
Okay. I will. There might be times where you have to just like, hey, you have to like pull me back like a child, where you like, hey, back over here, back over here.
Get the harness.
Yeah, get the harness out because I'll be like getting distracted by things like looking at this, over here and miss this and that and the other. So,
No, but I love that. I love that it's not just me asking you questions and you answering them, because that's kind of uh
yeah, it can get really stale and awkward really quickly when you like it's just, yeah, a lot of dead air and yeah, yeah.
yeah, we don't want that.
No, absolutely not. Not at all.
On the topic of collabing, what do you look for other than audio? Is there something else that you look for when asking for someone to collab with you?
Not necessarily. I kind of I know my channel is definitely geared more the true or quote unquote allegedly true scary stories because that's definitely what I'm into. So and I don't cut somebody off or say no to them because they do, creepy pastas or stuff like that because regardless, they're still amazing and awesome narrators on both sides of that. So that doesn't really become a factor for me. I mean, audio and then just reliability basically really all it comes down to like if somebody's super respondent to it and like yeah I'll get this to you on this date and boom it's there because like I've said before in the past I've had kind of had to like pester people a little bit because nice and say yes to a lot of people even if I don't really know you or know your channel whatsoever and then it comes down to crunch time I'm ready like hey it's Halloween collaboration I'm trying to release it on Halloween and here it is you know the night before and I'm trying to get everything together and I still
Oh.
haven't heard from you like hey this is the third message and then usually if you kind of burn me in that way a little bit I'm not going to be mad I'm just not going to ask you to collaborate with me again that kind of thing so
Yeah. Unfortunately, you have to have plan Bs.
right
I've noticed that when people do collabs, they're like, don't do it. Don't put any filters on it. Don't cut it. Don't do anything to it. Just record and send
yeah
and send
yeah
it back to me. And I completely understand that because sometimes people just filter the crap out of their audio
hmm
and just
yep
ruin it.
yeah and then there's not much you can do to try to make it sound reasonable because you don't I have listened to channels where they don't like really take the time to look at levels and you'll hear one narrator who's like super quiet like this
Mm-hmm.
and then the next narrator's like screaming at you
Mm-hmm.
so those are things you have to take into effect as I always tell people pretty much the same thing like just give me the raw voice do what you normally do try not to put any excess filters on it and or no music whatsoever because I've told people countless times no music no sound effects no nothing because if I want any of that stuff, I'll put it in for you. And then I've had people that don't listen, and then me trying to remove this music from the clip is just an impossible task too sometimes too. So
Removing music.
yeah,
I've never
yeah.
tried to remove music before.
I didn't really get accomplish that task whatsoever. I made an attempt, but like I kind of I drowned it out with I usually put rain behind my stories, so I just kind of drowned it out with more rain, but you could still hear it in that case in the couple of times that has happened because yeah, yeah.
I can't even imagine.
Yeah, yeah. That's where the politeness has got me into some, situations before with people too where I've.
See, yeah, and not wanting to offend anyone, not wanting to step on anyone's
Right,
toes, and now it's
right.
taking me a week to just fix this.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
And I don't. There's other stuff I need to be doing. I just want, don't want to be having to edit and play with this audio when it's not something I should have had to spend this much time on.
I send a list of things I want.
I mean, that's how it should be, honestly. Like, just shoot straight with people, tell them exactly what you want, and then you get that back. At least most of the time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true because
Most of the time.
people people don't
Sometimes
read
people
it.
still don't listen
Yeah,
or read.
or read it.
Yeah.
You're a narrator though.
Right,
Why
right. You're a
didn't you
narrator.
read
This
it?
should be like in your forte, man. Like this is the first thing you do is read. You know?
Okay. We'll get off of your backs.
Yep,
All
yep.
right. But we're watching you guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. You better shoot straight. But you, holy crap, you. Congratulations on reaching 6K.
Yeah, it's wild. It's definitely wild.
Could you have imagined yourself being here?
No, not at all. I thought I was gonna be at like 12 subs forever. I'm like, who wants to listen to this? And all 12 of those were like my family and friends that I like grabbed their phone and were like, subscribe, subscribe, subscribe.
Who is this guy? Why does he keep popping up in my feed?
Right. What is this?
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, don't worry. Just you don't even have to listen to it. Just go click on the video and hit like, please, and then
That's
you don't have to do anything else.
Why is my watch time like 0.5?
Right.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly. I was so sure that I would not get past 100 subscribers that or wait, 10. I did
Yeah.
I was so sure I wouldn't get past 10 subscribers that when I hit 1,000, I was like, eh. They'll it'll go back down to 10. I was just
Right.
like
Right. Right. Yep. This is a fluke.
It's just a fluke. This isn't real, especially when it hit 900, right? And then it
Hmm.
goes through that stupid up and down thing it does when it gets closer and closer to 1K, and you're just
Yeah.
like, it'll never hit 1K. I don't care.
And then the number at that point, it's also small enough that you know, like, hey, yesterday I had 955, and then wait, I got 951 now. Like, what did I do?
Right.
What happened in the last 24 hours that I pissed four people off? Like, I haven't done anything.
You
Like,
haven't done anything.
nothing's changed. Why'd you unsub? Like,
Who are the four of you?
yeah, who are you? I want names. I want names, YouTube.
You try to scroll through all 951.
Right. Write them all down in your notebook. And you're like, oh, I see who it was.
Jam for brains. Yeah, I know
Yeah.
it's you.
420 Kush blazing. I knew it was you. I knew it was you. You seem sketchy at first. Now I know why.
Oh my god. We would never do that.
No, absolutely not. No way.
just so that y'all know we're just joking. I
Hmm.
don't have time for that.
No, absolutely not. No way.
Why did you say it like that?
Just keeping the mystery alive, I guess.
Yes. He won't, but he might.
Yeah.
Uh but you're I'm sorry. That was funny.
You're good. You're good.
You improved so fast.
I'm definitely in a better spot than I was. I've done a lot of watching and listening, at least when it comes to like, you know, YouTube tutorials on how to make your audio sound better, what's the best mic out there, and I knew at some point like I just jumped right into it when it came to when it came to microphones because okay, I want to do this for the extended, you know, however long for years to come. So there's no point in just jumping from, you know, the beginner mic to maybe the next step up and then work my way up. Like I'm just gonna jump straight in and buy like the microphone that everybody has, that it's the nice one, the quality microphone. I might as well, you know. So and even then, it was still a learning process once to get it figured out because how how quiet this microphone is. I didn't realize. I didn't do my homework at least on that part. I didn't realize how quiet this thing is. So even after I got this, I was still tweaking stuff to figure out how because it's so quiet that I have to raise the gain up to the point where I was still having that issue with background noise, you know. So but thankfully I've got it narrowed down now. I got the cloud lifter, all that stuff. So I've got it figured out, but for a while there it was definitely a pain.
People think that get the fancy mic, plug it in, you're good. No,
Yeah, not at all. Not at all. I
no.
thought that was the case. I plugged it in. I'm like, this still sounds like ass. Like,
Mm-hmm.
what's the problem here? And then I
Mm-hmm.
had to watch more videos. But yeah, it's definitely not something you can figure out overnight at all. So
No, there's no magic magic
no,
mic.
there really isn't. Magic Mike. Now I'm just picturing a
Yeah.
shirtless guy as a microphone in front of me. It'd be a good selling product. I
Mm,
mean, yeah, a selling point for some people, I'm sure.
not for me. That's kind of creepy.
Yeah,
As if I need more anxiety while doing a
for
narration.
sure,
Yeah.
for sure.
You went from um you went from reading slower to removing the background noise to removing the plosives to adding thumbnails to adding visuals to adding a an intro to the video through with Jensen,
Yeah, yep.
like all within like 10 videos.
Yeah, I kind of just went for it. I guess, I guess there's like again, there's countless ones that I or narrators that I listen to, so I kind of picked a little bit like, ooh, I like the intro for this, so I'm gonna get my own intro. Ooh, I like when a video has visuals in the background, not like in your face type of visuals,
Mm-hmm.
like but something more than just a black screen.
Mm-hmm.
And it's I don't know, it's a fun little creative outlet for me to kind of like each video do this, that, and the other, and figure that stuff out. And I enjoy it. Same with thumbnails. Don't know why, but I have a blast making them. It's not even a pain or like a project or anything for me. I just enjoy doing it. So, and that's another thing I spent countless hours on, and I still have so much I need to learn and fix and do with certain things. But those have definitely also came a long way from where they were too. So.
At no point does anyone ever feel like I'm good.
Right, right. That's exactly. I mean, it's so true. Like I've definitely improved from where I was 6 months ago or 12 months ago, but I'm still not where I want to be. And I also feel like that's probably a good thing, to constantly hold yourself accountable and look yourself in the mirror and or re-listen to or re-watch your own content. Because there's a lot of people out there that don't like to listen to themselves,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't really like to listen to myself, like for fun, but I will listen to it just because I'm critiquing myself the whole time and being like, I should have definitely put a little bit more of a break between this and that. I should have put more emphasis on this and that. Oh, that thumbnail could have been better. Oh, this, that, and the other. Like I'm constantly just critiquing myself because I want every video to get better than the last one.
That is, that's exactly why. That's exactly why you're at 6K.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I've gotten lucky with a couple of big narrators that were kind enough to let me come on their channel, which was huge. Then that kind of gave me a bump. And then I had like one or two shorts that blew up for absolutely no reason. I
Right?
don't know why they did. It makes no sense because there's a couple of them that I put out there. I'm like, this is just like, 'cause I did like a thing where I'm like, okay, for 30 days, I'm gonna put a short out every single day and just see what happens. And
Right.
then a couple of them took off, and it was like a couple weeks after I posted it too. And I'm like, those were the ones that took off. Those ones, like, those weren't even like ones that I was big fans of, and
Right. It doesn't make sense.
it doesn't. And because there's countless videos where I'm like, I'm uploading it, or as I'm like doing the process, I'm about to upload it. I'm like, this is the one.
Mm-hmm.
This is the video. This video's gonna blow up. I feel it.
Yes,
I
yes.
like this is so good. I love this. Thumbnail's good. The quality, this, that, and the other, and then nothing.
Yeah.
And then a video from 2 or 3 weeks ago that I was just like, meh. Then that one does good. I'm like, what the hell is going on here? What do you want from me, YouTube? What do
Right.
you want from me?
Exactly. There's I can't be like I'm going to put these things together and this is going to be amazing and the world will lift me on their shoulders. Like it doesn't make sense why. And
No.
I will and do not ever think that the amount of work you put into a video means how many views you're going to get.
Right.
That means nothing.
No, not at all. Not at all.
You see people who are like, I've been working for 6 months on this video. It's gonna be great. 10 views.
Right. Exactly. It just there's no formula. There's no like homework you can do. Like you can just keep plugging away, do the absolute best on each video that you can, especially on the videos that you don't think are gonna do good, like
Yeah.
and just hope that maybe one day one of them catches a little bit of speed or whatever and you go from there, I guess. I don't know.
So, what drives you then?
Um I'd say I love I love horror. I love, like horror narration, spooky stories. Like I've listened to them for so long now that it's just a part of my life. I used to I'm no longer there, but I used to work for the post office, so I was a mail carrier, so I was walking from like 14, 15 miles a day and did the same thing every single day, so I had ample time to listen to podcasts and videos and stuff. So that's where I really started to listen to them because I, had anywhere from 8 to 10, sometimes 12 hours to kill, and I'd have to, have something to keep me preoccupied, and those did it for me. And then I just kind of sparked it, and I'd always kind of talked about it. I've wanting to start my own channel, or kind of one of those things where you have a couple of drinks with a friend and you're like, oh, let's make a bar, like, that
Mm.
kind of idea where you don't think it's ever going to happen. You just, it's just blowing smoke. And then one day I'm like, you know what? I'm done talking about it. I'm just going to do it. And worst case scenario, nothing comes of it, but I'm passionate about it enough to the point that, I might as well just try and see what happens. And so far it's been pretty rewarding in a lot of ways that I didn't really think that it was going to be. I'm glad that it's gotten to this point. There's definitely, don't get me wrong, there's definitely been times where I'm like, man, I'm not feeling this. I do not want to go edit all this audio right now, but
Right.
for the most part, overall, I'm passionate about it, so it keeps me. And I left the post office about 2 months ago, and this is really what I'm doing full time until my next job or whatever comes along next. So, yeah, I'm gonna make it work somehow.
I'm so proud of you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's a big leap, but the job itself was just awful, super stressful, super like mentally and physically taxing to the point where like, you know what? We only get one life and I'm not going to spend 20 more years, just for the money and stuff and hate my life and work myself to the bone. Like I might as well do something that I enjoy doing, especially when you see countless other people doing it. Like, it's again, it could happen, but you never know. But at this point in time, I'm all in at this point, so we'll see what happens.
What's the dream job?
Doing this, and maybe, getting some other narrating gigs or voice acting, stuff like that. That'd be pretty cool to do stuff like that, full time. It'd be, I think, it's a possibility. I don't really have much of a history or any type of in anything acting whatsoever, so I don't really know how that would. I probably have to take some classes or do some stuff on that and actually start putting myself out there, which I have in a couple of ways, but outside of YouTube and stuff like this, I would love to do this full time, like, and this turn into like a serious, real career.
Is it at the point right now where you could just do this? Like, is this enough to replace a job?
Definitely not. I'm making a little bit of money monthly, but it's definitely not enough to sustain any type of lifestyle, at least at this point, unfortunately. But you never know. I'm hoping that it turns into it at some point in time, but for now, I guess I'll just keep plugging away and see what happens. Again, like we just talked about earlier, what I don't know what you want from me, YouTube, so maybe you'll guide me one day, or I'm hoping for that one morning I wake up and I look and I'm just like, what just happened? Why am I at this, that, and the other, and then see that video that I didn't expect to blow up.
Man, see, people think that You just hit 1K and then you're a millionaire.
Yeah, and it's not like that at all, at all.
No.
It's definitely you got to have a lot more, but it's definitely put it into perspective though for me. Like, I kind of understand where I need to be to really make this full time. Like, I think in my head, I don't know why this is the number in my head, but I think you need to be probably at least at like 100,000, somewhere around there to make it. And I guess it just depends on also the how much content you're putting out there. I don't want to oversaturate. I don't know how you feel about that. I don't want to like put constantly put episodes like daily or anything like that. I feel like that's just one way that's gonna kill my drive to do it. And again, I don't want to put half-ass content out there. I want every video to get better than the next one. So and I've also started to vet my stories more. I don't know, you might be able to relate to this as well. Like when I first started, I was just like spamming Reddit, like any story that even had like the topic in the story somewhere whatsoever. I didn't read the stories whatsoever until I
Mm.
actually got approval. And then I'm like, okay, I'm putting this in. And then I'm reading the story and I'm like, this doesn't make sense. This sounds really dumb. There's a run on, all kinds of fragments. Like, what
Oh,
is going on in this story? And
dude.
then I just go along with it, but now I'm actually vetting stories because I want people to still get scared or unsettled or something listening to these stories. I don't want them to be like, well, that story stuck. Like, that was a dumb story. Because there's a lot of those out there too.
I do. I read my stories before I ask for
Mm-hmm.
permission, and it's probably the thing that makes it so that I'm not posting as much because it takes time for me to read all of
Yeah.
the work I want to do, but I don't want to post a story that I think is crazy. I read stories that I like. I really want
Mm-hmm.
to do that. I'm like excited about.
Right.
I know there's narrators who just read the title and just like if it's a catchy title, I'm gonna read the whole thing. I don't care. And I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm whatever, dude. You got like 10K. What can I say?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
I can't complain, but that's just how I do it.
Right. And you want your viewers are coming specifically to your channel for your brand
Hmm.
in a way. We're all kind of doing the same thing, but we're all individually doing our own thing as well. And your viewers are coming to your channel for your brand. And once you put that expectation or set that bar out there, then that's where I feel you need to keep it too. And I don't like to go
Mm,
below that for any reason whatsoever.
right, right. As far as oversaturating, I, dude, I will not be the person that posts a video every day of the week.
Yeah. Yeah.
I tried doing that before and I hated life.
Yeah, you really, I mean, I don't care how much you have to really love something. And even then, I feel like it still would get super stale super quick because if that's all you do. I mean, I'd say, and just ballparking it for a 30-minute to 40-minute episode, which is normally right around my sweet spot for my episodes, it will still take me at least anywhere from start to finish when it comes to the thumbnails, finding the stories, reading the stories,
Mm,
editing, doing all the narrating, everything from top to bottom. I'd say anywhere from 8 to 12 hours, sometimes maybe even more. And that's a long time, and that would consume every single day for me
yes,
easily.
yes, yeah. I was worse. I'm still not great, but I was a lot worse at editing my audio and I was super crazy about getting visuals, getting a visual for every part of like the story. Do you know what I mean?
Hmm. Yeah.
So hunting through Pexels, Pixabay for visuals, and that was a week at least.
Hmm.
Um, Editing my audio took me another week because I was so crap at it. So I was sitting at my desk, I'm not even exaggerating, for like 20 hours a day.
Wow.
20 hours a day. And then I would only have like one video done by the end of the week.
Yeah.
If that, if even that.
But I mean, it just kind of speaks to the fact that you're not only, I mean, regardless of whether you're, you know, where you're at with editing and stuff like that, but if you're, I think it's, to me, it means a lot more seeing a narrator or anybody for that matter when it comes to whatever they're creating. If they're spending that much time on it, then you know
Mm.
that they're putting everything into this video and it's not just something half-ass that they're just, oh, well, I need to put out a video this week, so here you go.
Mm-mm. No. Heartbreaking when you
Yeah.
when you go through
Yeah.
all of that and it's what 20 views.
Right. Yeah, it is. It definitely is. But I also made the mistake pretty early on in my channel where I, I don't know. I was just trying to do too much at once, and I was picking from too many different topics and genres
Mm.
because there is YouTube and the viewers especially are super weird when it comes to what they want. Like, if they're at my channel, they're at my channel for this specifically,
Yeah.
and you cannot stray from that formula whatsoever.
Yeah.
Because early on, I tried to do like a true crime, because I did quite a few episodes of just what I normally do, true scary stories, allegedly true scary stories, whatever from Reddit. And then boom, I was like, I got a wild hair, and I was like, you know, I want to do something different. Let's do this. I did a whole episode, which still to this day is one of my favorite episodes that I've ever done. Was on the Heaven's Gate cult, and it was just like, oh, this one's gonna do really good. And then found out pretty quickly that no, it did awful because it's not what they're here for. They don't want that at all. They're here for me to read stories from Reddit, and I found out pretty quickly that I lost subs, I lost views. Like at that
Mm.
point, I was having really good views, and they got like cut in half. And then even after that, like, and YouTube viewers are also super very um unforgiving.
Oh yeah.
Like
Oh yeah.
you don't do what I want this one time, see ya, I'm done, goodbye, unsub, I'll never watch your channel again. So, and I
Ever.
figured that
Mm.
pretty quickly. Yeah, and I made that mistake, and so now I actually made a whole separate channel. I think I just launched it like maybe a month or so ago,
Mm.
where I'm going to actually do, because I feel like I'm the reading these stories and narrating these stories is fun, and I'm super passionate about it, but it can also get very stale. So I like to do the true crime and the tragedies and stuff about the occult, like on this other channel, so I can still scratch that itch. And if same kind of the same rules apply, if it blows up, cool. If it doesn't, at least I'm still getting that fix somewhere else, so I'm not lacking on this channel.
Do you not feel that you going you going to another channel where it's something that you're actually really passionate about, do you not feel that it would hinder your original channel at all?
Um, I mean, if you know, if the stars align and that channel blows up for some reason, I don't. I guess I'll just see what happens
Mm.
if that happens. I've definitely thought that, or at least it's crossed my mind, like what's going to happen if this channel blows up, and then I'm
Mm.
obviously going to want to spend more time over on this channel just because it's garnering more views and all that stuff. So. I guess I'll just cross that bridge when I get to it, if it ever happens. I don't think I'm ever going to just like straight up abandon this channel whatsoever because I still enjoy doing it. I just think the episodes will definitely probably not be as frequent.
Understood.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking as someone who has multiple channels.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. It's a lot to juggle, that's for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. I was the same as you. I was like, yes, scary stories are cool, but I also want to try this and this.
Yep.
And in the beginning, my channel was a disaster. My channel had everything. It was before I decided to make separate channels.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
I had everything on this one. And I mean, I guess I'm not exactly I'm still not exactly doing what I'm supposed to, but at least I'm talking to horror narrators.
Right, that's true. That's true.
Yeah, don't unsubscribe.
Yeah.
I had celebrity interviews. I had like random inspirational crap. I had role play type stuff on it. I had everything on this channel. And then Time Six took a look at it and he was like, yeah, you need to take that off, take that off, take that off, take that. You need to
Yep.
fix this up because no one knows what you do here.
Right.
And this was back when I had my channel name was Dodge This 82. And he was like, one, no one knows what your name is. Like, no one, what is that? Is that a gaming channel? Not really. It's more horror. He's like, all right, then you need to be horror narrator and stop doing all this crazy crap. So I used to have like a crap, oh my gosh. Especially with the celebrity interview stuff, I had over 60,000 hours on 60,000 hours watch time. And then
Damn.
I took all of that stuff off. It dropped down to 1,000.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's a lot.
gone.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's hard because you don't like, especially when you're that new and you just don't know
Yes.
that the viewers in YouTube is that specific. Like you have to stay in your lane
Yes.
or create a separate channel. Like because you think like, okay, well, as a YouTube viewer, like if you're just viewing something or you have whatever, 100 or a couple of hundred subscriptions to other channels, you're watching obviously whatever you want all the time.
Mm-hmm.
You can have a variation of horror or whatever that might be, and then you're not thinking about that when you start your own channel. You think like, okay, well, this will just attract this people and this people, and they all can just come together and enjoy my channel for what it is. And like, no, no,
No,
bro, it don't work like that.
it
It
doesn't.
don't work like that.
It's like trying to put two families together that hate each other.
Exactly. It is. And again, it comes back to that unforgiving thing. Like the second you post something that has nothing to do with that person's there for, they're done and they will walk away and never come back.
You might get people who come and stop by to look at your video, but they're not going
Yeah.
to subscribe.
No, no, because it doesn't fit what that's not what
Mm-mm.
I'm here for. It's not what I want, so on to the
On
next.
to the next one.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's not only can they be super I've definitely I knew the internet can be a shitty place with a lot of toxic people too, but I've definitely dealt with my fair share of just like comments and stuff, which I know we all have, but it's just like some of them I'm just like laughing to myself because that's kind of the at first, it's hard to not take it personally.
Right.
You're just like, "Oh man, like what did I do to you, man? Like why are you so upset about this?" And then I just understand at some point that this is just the YouTube community as a whole.
Yeah.
Like people will take the time out of their day to comment something negative on your video. Like instead of just moving on because they didn't like it, nope, I'm gonna take the time to write something hateful or mean or rude in your comment section just because. And you're just like, all right, bro, well, you must be really fun at parties.
At what point do you say, okay, well, this might be constructive? Or,
Yeah, yeah. There's definitely been some ones too where I will play fair to the point where there's been some that I have like genuinely took to heart and listened to. Like that makes sense.
mm,
Like, and you can definitely you can see the differences between somebody genuinely trying to give you some sort of constructive criticism or
yes.
someone just being an asshole.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
I tried. I tried giving advice, but people thought I was being mean. I wasn't being
yeah,
mean. I wanted to be helpful.
right. And a lot of people out there need that, they need, the whatever that comment is, or sometimes just the criticism, and it doesn't have to be in a super hateful or negative way. It's just like, look, man, like I know you don't see it, but I'm just trying to make you understand that this is what you need to do, or you should try this and see what happens because the way you're doing this or this, that, and the other, it's not working, but It's hard to see that sometimes when somebody you spend 12 hours on a video and then you
Mm.
mispronounce a word and then that's all people focus on. You're like, okay, I'm so sorry that I mispronounced this giant word. Like, I'm so sorry. Never happen again, okay?
Don't you make mistakes.
Yeah, you're not allowed to be human. You have to be perfect. This is YouTube.
You never make a mistake ever in your life.
Right. Right.
Oh my god. Yeah. Yeah. People.
Mm-hmm.
You better get some thick skin quick.
Yeah, you definitely, if you want to be a YouTuber or create content, definitely get some thick skin because I definitely, it was not a huge issue, but it took me a little while to just get past it, just shake my head, laugh, and then move on because
Mm,
you have to, because it's not going to be the last time you see or hear something like that. So,
yeah. I mean, on your first video, people were like, "Yeah, I'm gonna watch more of this. This is great." Even on your first video.
yeah, and I'm just like, I kind of wanted to be like, you sure? You sure you want to do that?
Yeah.
Let's go, let's rewind the clock, and you sure you want to do that?
Yeah, you're fantastic.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, if you believe it, I'm not gonna argue with you.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Okay. If that's your opinion. You're entitled to it.
The improvements that you made are ones that took me years to do. So that's why when I started listening to your narrations from the beginning, I wanted to talk to you even more. I was just like, well, how did you know? How did you know to fix this like right away? Because just the background noise alone, I think that took me like years, and
Yeah.
plosives and stuff years, and you did it within a few videos. I was just like, how did you know? But you had been listening to narrations for a while, and I hadn't, and I didn't
Yeah.
have a community to fall back on. I didn't know anyone.
Yes, it's definitely, I think, a mix between just listening. I guess the bar was just set so high with countless narrators in this community where I'm like, my quality of content and or audio needs to be at this level. And once
Mm,
I realized how shitty my audio sounded,
mm,
I'm like, I need to fix this now. So I was like poring over videos after video and figuring out exactly what I need to do through my programs, what mic I need to get, what I need to do here, that, and the other, because I'm like, that needs to improve like dramatically, like ASAP. Because some people aren't going to notice that. Some people are going to like, oh, this sounds okay. But then there's going to be a lot of people, and predominantly myself being, that person too, is like, this doesn't sound good. This needs to sound way better. And if you're going to get more views or get more people, you need to improve that on multiple levels, multiple levels.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, I wish I had that.
So how long have you been doing this then, if you could put a timestamp on it?
About 8 years.
8 years?
Yeah. I started as a gaming channel, and then maybe like 2 years after that, I tried doing narrations.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's cool.
yeah.
It's definitely it's like our own little pocket in YouTube. It's weird because I know there's a lot of people that don't really, I wouldn't, or I guess I wouldn't assume that there would be this many people into it.
Right.
Like I just it's kind of such a weird little niche that like I just would have never thought in a million years that and there's also a lot of narrators out there. There's a lot more than I thought there were. Like there's just getting into it. There's definitely thousands out there. So, and I guess that's where it comes down to. You got to make it unique enough, to get people to come to your channel too, because there's a lot of creators out there. So you got to do something at least halfway different. That's another another issue that I've ran across in the past at least countless times with people in the comment section like, I've heard this story before.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
I've heard this story. I'm like, well, yeah, because you're listening to 12 other narrators and there's one source that we pull from. Like,
Yeah.
you're bound to hear duplicate stories if you're listening to that many people, you know?
It's yeah, I wish I wish people realized how unrealistic that is to expect everyone to have a different story, only one narrator per story. Some writers do that, and I think that's
Yeah,
great to do that. Sometimes, yes, because then, it doesn't get oversaturated with everyone doing the same story. But then, no, because what I bring to it is different than what you might bring to it.
right. And also, we're not communicating with each other on a daily basis to the point where, like, hey, you're not using this story in your next video, are you?
No,
Like, okay, that's impossible. That's a task that just can't be done. So,
it's just a matter of who posts it first.
yeah, I guess so.
Yeah. I'm going to go to one of our audience submitted questions.
Okay.
This one was submitted by Silver Underworld's Scary Stories. Thank you for your question, Silver. So, tell me about the name Booze and Booze. Why did you select that name?
Um, I used to do a podcast with a couple of close friends of mine, a couple of years, I think we started in like 2017, and then we closed the doors on that, like right around COVID. But it was a horror podcast where we would talk about cryptids or paranormal stuff, like horror movies, new horror movies coming out, like anything relatively under that banner of horror.
Hmm.
And on that podcast, I had a segment called Booze and Booze where I would drink a beer or drink some kind of like liquor or something and tell a scary story or some kind. Most of it was ghost stories from like people listening would submit their own paranormal stories, and I would drink and tell or narrate their scary story. And then once we stopped or kind of like disbanded, I guess, whatever you want to call it, the podcast itself, I'm like, you know what? I loved that name. I'm just going to pick that up and use that in the YouTube because I'd never seen that before. And it's
Mm.
pretty straightforward, I guess, for the most part. You kind of understand what you're getting at my channel. At least I hope that you do. But that's the shortened version, I guess, or the long story short version of where that name derived from.
So, you're not going to be doing any mixed drinks?
I definitely still do that. Not quite as much as I used to, but definitely still occasionally will have myself one, but at least not right now, I guess.
No. Oh,
Yeah.
get
Yeah.
get unfiltered booze and booze on the.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
what's
Yeah.
what's that person like after a few drinks?
Yeah, you'll probably be muting me. I'm like, well, this has been fun. Good talking to you, bud.
Ooh, hour. 2 hours is up. All right.
Yeah. What's that, honey? Yeah, yeah, yeah. We're about done. We're
Yeah.
about done. Yeah. Hey, sorry about that. I gotta
Ooh,
go.
ooh, time flies. It
Yeah,
flies
the
so
food's
fast.
here.
The
My
food.
$90 food's here. Sorry, gotta go.
No, it'd be interesting. I'd,
Yeah, for sure.
yeah.
For sure. I at some point I've kind of not pitched the idea myself, but I think it would be cool if there was some sort of convention that either we make or kind of just converge on where we all come together and just meet up. I think that would be pretty rad sometime in the future.
That would be cool. I mean, there's a lot of people who, are private. But
Right.
yeah, the ones who aren't, yeah, that'd be freaking cool.
Yeah. I mean, I don't leave my house as often as I used to, but that would give me a good reason to get out of my house. So,
Would you? You would actually
yep,
go.
I would. I would definitely go. That would be awesome. I'm uh I'm a hermit and a hobbit, you know, in a lot of ways, but I can also be super social when I want to, because every once in a while I kind of that's another itch that I need to scratch. Like, okay, I've been hiding in my house for
Mm,
this long. I need to get out and burn some of this off. So,
yeah, it takes a while. it takes
for sure,
it takes a while
for
to
sure.
get to that point.
It does. And then as soon as you get out, you're like, "Oh, this is why I stay home." Like a couple hours into like, man, I could be on my couch right now. Yeah.
Playing games.
Yeah, exactly. Like, oh yeah, like my social fuel gets burned out really quickly. You think like, I'm ready to go. I'm
Mm.
ready. Like, I'm gonna do an all-nighter. It's been a minute, and then 4 or 5 hours in, I'm like, woof. Okay, well, that was fun. Time to go home.
Do you have any narrators that you would like totally hang out with, like IRL?
There's a couple. I feel like I've gotten pretty close to Dane from Being Scared
Mm.
over I'd say the last year or so, and he's such a freaking cool dude, and I'm really excited and hoping that the one day that I can have a beer with that dude, and also Amanda Jane, I at some point I'd love to. She's such a cool chick too, man. Like
Yeah.
she's super talented and super underrated. I don't know how that girl does not have like a million followers on YouTube right now.
Soon. Watch.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, for real.
I didn't realize what her range was. I still don't quite know what her range is yet, but just doing the collab with her, I was like, oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
What's your range? Because, I mean, we know your voice from your channel, but do you do anything else with your voice?
Um, I don't. I guess I've never really tested it in a lot of ways. I've never really gotten in too many opportunities to make an attempt to do that. I've been told by family members and friends like I've been able to. They say I can sing, and there's times where I feel like I can sing, but I'm super hypercritical about my, putting myself out there and being super vulnerable. At least in that aspect, it's one thing to do narrating and me just read a story and put myself out there. That's fine, but like I don't know. At least in that aspect, it's that's a lot scarier for me. So
So even when you do collabs, you're still you.
yep, yep, I think so.
Mm.
I might put a little extra sauce on it, every once in a while, where I think I need to, but for the most part, I feel like I have this range or like a comfortable range that I normally stay in, unless, because I guess it's always just been reading scary stories or reading true scary stories, and I never really had like an actual like a voice acting gig or something like that to really put my voice or any skills that I might have garnered over the last year or two, put them to the test or anything like that. So, and that's something I would like potentially like to do in the future too, is just see where or what I can possibly do, or find at least find that range to where like, okay, well, there's my cap there, and I can't do anything more than this.
Right. Right. Or else how would you know?
Right.
How do you even know
Exactly.
what to audition for if you decide to do voiceover work?
Right. Exactly. I feel like it's yeah. I don't know.
I'm gonna give you a story and
Okay.
and then not right now, obviously.
No, okay. Okay, okay,
I'm not
okay.
gonna put you on the
Okay, I thought
spot.
you were gonna tell me
No.
a story. I thought you were gonna tell me a story. Okay.
Oh, yeah, memorize it? Like, what do you mean?
No, I thought you were just gonna like tell me a story like,
Mm.
oh, this is how I got to this or did that and the other. Okay, yeah.
Oh,
Now I understand you mean like I'm gonna give you a story to pretend or to read in the future, right?
yes.
Or something like that. Okay.
Yes. And then I'm going to push you a little bit out of your comfort zone and, like, try to give me more than just true scary story
Okay.
voice.
I'm definitely down for that.
Sweet. Ha ha ha. I'm twiddling my thumbs maniacally.
Are you spinning in your chair? Do you have a small dog in your lap
I do not.
or a cat?
No. I am deathly allergic.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah. I
Gotcha.
I will take allergy medicine for the right person.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's understandable then, I guess. I mean, at least for that person then.
You have to be amazing. I get really drowsy.
Yeah. Yeah, that bar has got to be really
It's
high.
so high.
It's so high.
Benadryl knocks me right out. Okay. See, that's one tangent we're not going to go down. um, Tell me about the first narration you ever heard.
Uh, I think it was some creepy pasta. I can't remember exactly what it was called though. It was I don't know if you ever listened to the No Sleep podcast.
No, I don't.
Um, it was probably like 2014, 2015 is when I really started getting into it, but it was called the No Sleep Podcast, and it was just a array of super talented voice actors that would read um, scary stories. And I can't remember exactly what the name of it is, but I think it was called like Danny or something like that. I don't know. But I was for sure the first one that I ever heard, and immediately I was just like, "Whoa, this is really cool. This is like something I didn't know existed. I had no idea that this was even out there." And then it was just kind of gone from there. I got like super obsessed with it, was listening to it all the time.
Mm.
And then not long after that, maybe a year or two after that, I found out that there's a whole, you know, genre of people doing allegedly true scary stories. And then once I got onto that bandwagon, then it's just like continued on from there.
Mm. Why the fascination with true crime?
I don't know. I think it's just people
Mm.
scare me more than monsters and stuff like that, and ghosts and stuff like that, because you know, people are people. So that type of thing. And there's also like I guess a hint of morbid curiosity to it as well. So I've always just been super fascinated with it. I actually had the two dudes that I did it was called the Black Crypt podcast that I did with. Both of them were funeral directors. So they like would embalm bodies and all that stuff, and I got to like see that stuff super early on
Cool.
with them. Like there's a couple times where they're like, "Hey, I'm embalming a body. You want to come check this out?" And I did it, and then it kind of sparked it from there. I've always been super into creepy stuff, even as like a little kid. Um, so I guess it just has always been there, and just grew as I became more of an adult.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Would you ever play Mortuary Assistant?
I actually, you mean like actually go into that field?
No, I mean the video game.
I didn't even know that existed.
Yes. It's
That's
a
pretty cool.
video game where you play a mortuary assistant. But
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, 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 yeah. Okay, yeah. I didn't know that existed, but I definitely will, because that's a whole nother realm of I love, even though they scare the shit out of me, I love scary games. So,
mm, what was the last one you played?
mm,
Mm.
I think the last one that I just finished not that long ago was, which I bought it, and then as I have a stupid amount of games that I'll just buy,
Yes.
have every intention of playing it, and then they just sit.
Yes.
And I finally finished Outlast 2 not that long ago.
Dang, I still need to finish that one.
Yes, it's bad because it came out so long ago too, and I even
Yes.
started it, and then for some reason I put it down, and I just never picked it back up again. I think it's like it's that genre of horror games scares me so much more. Just be off the simple fact that you can't when the ones you can't fight back,
Yes.
where it just leaves you so vulnerable to the point where you're just like terrified to play them, but it's so much fun at the same time. So,
Unbelievable.
yep, yep. But I'll definitely check out that. I'll definitely check out the Mortuary Assistant, though. I didn't know that existed.
Yes, you should. I mean, it's probably not like true to life or accurate or anything, but um,
Yeah, still be fun. A fun play, I'm sure. All right, yeah, I'll let you know. I'll definitely check it out, and then I'm assuming is it probably on Steam?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Eee, excited squeal.
Yeah, yeah, I'll let you know for sure. That'll be fun.
And you let me know whether it's accurate or not, or
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Which I'm not too like well versed in that stuff. I was just kind of like a third party in the room, like getting my morbid curiosity of like,
Mm,
I wonder what this is like, because they were so desensitized to it. Like it was just
yeah.
like a McDonald's worker to them. Like this is just what I do. This is just my job, you know? Like I'm that shock value obviously was there at first, but then you get to the point where you're just like, oh, this is my job. This is what I do, and that's it.
Thank God there's people like that in the world, because it could not be me.
Right. Yeah. I think I could have honestly done it because just based off the simple fact that I hate people, you know, like dealing with people. So like at least in that field, like you don't have to worry about, you know, oh, well, my customer is already dead on the table. I don't have to talk. I don't have to do anything. Like I can just do my job and go home.
Yes. I used to be that person who was like, I love customer service. I can help anyone.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everyone's
Yep.
angry until they meet me and I will change their day. No,
Mm-hmm.
I am way past that point. I have done customer
Yeah.
service for I feel like over 2 decades.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's just eventually you definitely get burnout and
Mm.
you lose that spark that you once had because I was definitely the same way once upon a time and then quickly that got snubbed out.
Mm. I did customer service in a department store,
Mm.
and I did customer service over the phone in call centers. And I tell you, man, you think people are ballsy in department stores, they are ballsy over the phone.
Well, I bet. I bet. Oh my gosh, I can only imagine.
And they know there is nothing you can do about it.
Right. You
Yeah.
just have to like, okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Yes. Yes, yes, sir. I'm an idiot.
Yeah, I'm so sorry about that.
I'm
Yeah,
so so- I'm so sorry I'm
I'm
an
quitting.
idiot.
I'm quitting right
Right
now.
now.
Yep, I'm quit. I'll quit tomorrow. This is my last day. You're so
You're
right.
so right. The one thing I heard the most while working in a call center is the right hand doesn't know what the left hand is doing. I've heard that so many times. I could just cut them off and be like, I know what you're gonna
Yep.
say.
Yep, I know. Yep,
Yeah,
I know.
I
I know.
can't say I agree with you because this
Right,
call.
right, right. Yep, I had a very similar thing when delivering people's mail, and they're always like, "Oh, if you got any bills, you can keep them." I'm like, "Ha ha, ha 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 ha,
Right.
ha 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 ha." So funny, sir.
No,
Haven't heard that one before.
no, you don't do that.
You gotta play right along, you know. Put that customer service smile on for them and
Yeah,
pretend to laugh. Like
yeah.
you can definitely. My wife even knows now. Like she knows my fake laugh compared to like. She'll just look at me and like we'll walk away from the conversation. She's like, "How do you do that?" And it's like, I don't know. I just turn it on, you know,
That's
turn it on,
it.
turn it off.
Yeah, survival mode.
Right, exactly.
Um, Another question that we have from Silver, thank you again, is do you think YouTube should recognize narrators and audiobook readers in a category? For example, like the gaming, podcast, and music. They have their own tab in the YouTube search menu. How come we don't
Uh,
have one?
I think at this point, again, just being in this community for a year and a half or whatever at this point, I think it's definitely a lot bigger than I thought it was, and I think it's big enough to the point where I think we definitely could. I've definitely also realized through other channels as well as my own that people listen as like a ASMR type of thing,
Mm-hmm.
like to fall asleep to and stuff like that too. So and even with that, especially with that being said, I feel like kind of bumps us up to the point where we could easily have our own category or search option, whatever you want to call it.
Even if you just put the top 10 people.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
think that's
exactly.
enough people for us to get our own search tab. Yes.
Right. Yeah, for sure. For sure. Because there's plenty of narrators out there. I guess not plenty, but enough narrators out there with, hundreds of thousands,
Mm,
and there's quite a few that even have millions at this point. So,
exactly. Exactly. Even if they don't have a million subscribers, they have a million views.
exactly.
So that alone, come on.
Right.
We don't know why, Silver. We don't know why we don't have one yet.
Yeah, yeah,
We
yeah,
want
yeah.
one too.
Definitely do.
Yes. Yeah. So it's time for you to narrate. What do you do to get ready to read?
I definitely have learned that I definitely need to be more hydrated. And I just kind of I need there's parts in the day I feel a lot more motivated and or willing to do so earlier in the morning than I do later at night, especially because now my kid will be at the babysitter, so my during the day. So at night, it is definitely a lot harder to try to narrate something when I have a 4-year-old running around the house screaming like poop and stuff, and don't want to have to like constantly edit that out because where my little quote unquote studio is in our spare bedroom downstairs. I have like this. I just turn this closet into where I narrate at. I don't really have any like there's no door or anything on it. There's a door to the
Oh,
bedroom itself, but it's only, it's this pretty flimsy door. So I mean, you can hear damn near anything coming through it. So the quieter the house is, obviously the better. So I try to narrate during the day when it's just me at the house. And again, definitely have to make sure I'm hydrated because I have a really bad habit of like mouth clicks and stuff like that and stuff. And it's just creates way more work in the editing and post. So,
I need I need a lot of things.
yeah, yeah, yeah. All right, run through your list for me. I'm curious to hear it.
I need a nap.
All right, all right. Fair enough.
Yes, I need tea. I need to warm up. Do you do your warm ups?
I definitely don't.
Shame. No, I don't care.
Fair enough.
I mean, who am I to judge? Who gives a crap?
Yeah.
Yeah, you enunciate. I don't like. Apparently, whatever you're doing is working. And I need chapstick. I need.
Yep.
I need to have. I mean, that's about it, really.
That's right. Okay. I thought there was gonna be like 10 more things.
I need to wear specific clothing for.
Hey, I mean, I get it. I really, really genuinely do. I think I know this is random, but was it Saturday? I think last Saturday was the first time I put jeans on in like 2 or 3 weeks.
Mm.
It's always been like sweatpants and shorts, so it's nice. It's nice, but yeah, I get it.
I feel like an adult.
Uh-huh, for sure.
Who did your current
I think
logo?
I think the current one I have right now, I got it off of Fiverr. I have like 2 or 3 different ones that I've alternated because I have like I don't know, I just every once in a while I like to switch at least that up. At least I have the ability to switch something small up on my channel to the point where it makes it a little bit more, even though it's not significant in any way. But I think I've just found some dude on Fiverr. I'm really into the traditional tattoos, and so I just found a guy that did traditional tattoos and drew up traditional tattoos on Fiverr, and then told him what my channel was, what I wanted, and just kind of went from there. I think, if I remember correctly.
Is it possible to have a favorite tattoo?
I don't know. It's difficult because I always think in the moment as I'm getting that tattoo, I'm like, this is my new favorite, but
Right.
I definitely, I don't know. I've got quite a few of my favorites, and I don't. It's hard to choose between them. So I've definitely got some I wish I didn't get because somebody should have took my money away from me when I was a younger kid and let me into the world and like, oh yeah, you can go get a tattoo now. And I think 18-year-old me thinking that this is something I want 20 years later was not a good idea.
Huh,
Not a good idea.
I won't ask.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, thankfully I've been able to cover up some of them, but there's still a couple. I'm like, dude, what were you doing? Who are you? Like, I want to go back in time and just like shake myself, you know?
I want a tattoo. I don't have any.
You don't have
I
any? Oh
don't
my
have
gosh,
any.
it's it's definitely an expensive hobby or a habit to have. I don't really know. I don't know. I just I'm kind of a shy. I've always and there's not really I don't know. I've had people come up and ask me about it, like, "Oh, what's the story?" And like, there's some of them might have a little bit of a story behind it or reason for me getting it, but it's just I'm such a quiet and shy person.
Mm,
Like when I'm like social and awkward, that I feel like I the only way to express myself is kind of getting tattoos, and it also this is really cool too.
mm.
It keeps people away from you. Like when because I'm covered in tattoos and I don't want to talk to people like as much as I don't like, socially and out and don't like to be approached like that if I don't necessarily have to be. So it keeps people away from me to the point where I don't have to talk to you. So it works out in my favor. So they think I'm just some like, big burly biker or something. I don't know, and that's not me at all. I'm pretty chill, relaxed guy, and but it keeps people, I guess, at a distance just because I guess I look questionable. I don't really know how to put that into words, but it definitely comes in handy, I guess.
Oh, well, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, yeah,
They don't get to find out how awesome you are.
yeah. Well, I guess I have a small circle of friends, that are that I don't know, just I'm sure you probably could relate to it, and everybody can probably relate to it. Growing up, you think you have tons and tons of friends, and then later on in life, you find out that those are just like social friends or party friends, and then the real ones stick around. And I've got a tight group of friends that I still have to this day that I've had for a really long time, and I wouldn't have it any other way.
Mm, that wasn't really my case. I mean, that was the
No,
case in, like junior high school,
yeah.
or no, not even high school really, because I moved around so much. I didn't really make friends or
Oh, okay,
keep friends.
gotcha.
So even when I made friends, I didn't keep them because I'm always in this whole mental mindset that I'm going to move again.
Yeah, that makes sense. Which that sucks because you want to get close with somebody or in a group of people, but like this is how long is this actually going to last?
Hmm.
At least friendship wise, we know because there's only so much one you can do once you move. But
Hmm.
because I know I grew up in a very small town. My graduating class only had 42 people,
Jesus.
so yeah, and so the friends that I have to this day are two or three of them I graduated with. Like, and
Mm.
I left for the army in 2011, and I thought when I got, at some point in time, like, okay, well, eh, I don't know if we're still gonna be friends. They're probably gonna move on with their life, whatever. And then after I came back and stuff, like, it's just we've been friends, since junior high school. Not all of them, but like two or three of them, like I said, are still super tight with even to this day. So
The only friends I have now are ones that I made as an adult.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
dang.
Those are fine too. There's nothing wrong with that.
No, of course not. Those are the
Nothing
ride
at
or
all.
die ones. Gone. Yeah, you realize who the real ones are.
That's all too true.
Mm. What were you like in high school?
I was a douche.
No.
No, I was a skater. If that's if I guess that if that would put me into a category. It wasn't really a jock or anything like that. I was kind of like the skater, always skateboarding and all that stuff. And that's kind of the crowd I ran with, I guess.
Mm, yeah, I didn't know any skaters.
You know, I was I don't know. It was just kind of, you know, cookie cutter for many high school. Everybody's kind of got their own groups and or, you know, cliques, whatever you want to call them, and that's just I guess who I ended up with.
The group that I was in my I'm sorry. I'm just I'm just thinking about them right now. In my last high school, they were the most oddball people ever. Like they were the outcasts, the people
Yeah.
no one else was friends with. There was the black guy who was a nerd.
Hmm.
There was uh the chick who knew all the guys.
Yeah.
Wink wink.
Yeah.
There was
Yeah.
the oh my gosh, there was the Hispanic girl with the really bad acne.
Oh.
And she had like this really squeaky voice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Oh. Yeah. Good times, huh?
Yeah, whatever happened to those
Yeah.
people?
Yeah.
Doing a circus somewhere.
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably. Yeah. That's funny.
Desert Island movie.
Ooh. Man, that's tough.
Uh-huh.
One movie?
I mean, it was a plane crash. You didn't have time.
How about one movie, one TV show?
Fair. Fair.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, damn, that is so
I'm
hard.
trying to think of mine. I can't.
That
I'm gonna
is
try
so
though.
hard. Cause that's it's one movie. You got one movie. Like you better pick the right genre, you know, like it's you don't want to go too serious, but you also don't want to only oh my gosh, it's so hard.
It's not gonna be Castaway.
Right. It's definitely not gonna be Castaway. That'll just make you super depressed.
Be like, oh, that's how you start a fire.
You're like, oh shit, okay,
If you have electricity, it can't be that bad to watch the
yeah,
movie.
yeah. Right. Right. Oh my gosh, that is so tough. I guess I'm just gonna go with the one that, because I honestly we could spend hours here, and I probably still wouldn't be able to decide. So
Mm,
I'm just gonna go with the one that came to my mind first, and I'm gonna say Dumb and Dumber.
interesting.
Yep.
I was not expecting that.
Yeah, okay, yeah. It's really difficult to choose. It is so difficult. Oh my gosh.
You wanted a TV show too.
Yeah, and if I had to pick a TV show, it's definitely The Office.
Yes. Yes. High five.
Yeah, it's I can watch that series from front to back. I'd know every episode, probably all everything and anything about that show by heart, and I can still watch it to this day and laugh my ass off at the same scenes. Nothing's changed. It's an incredible TV show. I don't care anybody listening. Well, I'll fight you to the death. It's one of the best TV shows ever created, hands down.
Fight me
Because
IRL.
I have people that are like that show's not funny. I'm like, okay, well you're just not funny then. Like I don't get it. It's not like it's just like, but that's like the cringy, awkward
Yes.
humor.
Yes.
That is my forte. Like that is my shit. That is what makes me laugh harder than anything in the world, and it does it best. Like it really does.
I think, ooh, I'm trying to think of what my favorite episode of The Office was. And,
That's tough
oh yeah,
too.
that's a tough one too. Ooh, I think the dinner party was way up
Yep.
there.
Yep. Dinner. If I had to choose, it's probably Dinner Party.
Oh my gosh, I love that episode.
Because I can't imagine. Can you imagine trying to just keep your composure
Dude,
in any one of those scenes? There's just like
no.
my hat's off to all of them for being able to just hold it together. Like there's no way. Like the directors, everybody would hate
They
me
would.
because I would break every 5 seconds.
Just looking at their faces.
Yeah, just looking at Steve Carell push this tiny TV up against the wall, I'd be on the floor dying for like, all right, you done laughing now? Can we continue on? Like, no,
No,
I can't stop.
I'm not done.
No, no.
Oh my gosh. I think Kelly, they were like Kelly is, or Mindy Kaling, that she was the person that laughed the most.
Yeah,
And
yep.
I
And
don't,
yep,
I can't
yep.
imagine.
I can't either. I know there's definitely scenes where you can see her like break a little bit and the camera like quickly like go to somewhere else.
God, they were so lucky.
Yeah. Yep. Very much so.
Yeah.
What about you? What about you? Movie, TV show.
I'm gonna take The Office too. I'm gonna take that one because
Right
I
on.
don't know any other show that I have seen from the beginning to the end as many times.
Yeah. It's just it has to be something that you can, like consume that many times and not get sick of it. And I know The Office would be that show for me, so I get it.
Did you try to watch the UK version?
Yeah, and it was pretty good, but it was I think I don't know. Maybe if I would have watched the UK version first, maybe I would be more fond of it
Um,
than watching the US version. But
yeah, same.
yeah.
Yeah. There's another there's another TV show that is a lot like The Office, but it's not as good. It's called Elementary.
Elementary. No, I don't think I've heard of
It
it.
doesn't matter, you won't watch it. If you like that show, I'm sorry, but it's not my thing. It's
Yeah.
it's it's pretty much The Office, but it's tracking teachers in like a really poor kind of ghetto neighborhood.
Okay.
So it's in the elementary school, and it's like they have a Jim, they have a Pam, they have a Roy in it.
Mm. All those crucial characters,
Yeah,
yeah.
and it
Yeah.
has a like a Michael in it too, but it's just so it's just so
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah. Yeah. I understand. I know there's I can't remember. A couple of years ago, a coworker of mine, like he knew how much I love The Office, and he's like, "Oh, if you like The Office, then you'll love Community." And
Hmm.
I tried to watch it, and I'm like, "Dude, this is nothing like The Office." And I haven't laughed once, and I've watched like 3 or 4 episodes. Like, "Oh no, you gotta wait, and you gotta go to season." I'm like, "No, I'm not doing that. If it's not funny in episode one, you're not gonna convince me because I'll be the YouTube viewer right now and say I'm super unforgiving when it comes to television and movies and stuff like that. Like if you can't be good at season one, then or episode one, whatever the case may be, like how are you gonna? I mean, I'm obviously you can get better, but I personally thought The Office was hilarious. Even season one, episode one, like I was laughing from the beginning to the end.
It was, for me, it was sort of like, should I be laughing at this? Is it
Yeah,
okay?
yeah, yeah. It was definitely indoor like humor, like
Yes.
where you're like watching it and you're like, oh, oh my God.
Yes.
You're so uncomfortable just
Yes.
like watching it. Yeah, you're just like, no, he did not.
I
Yeah.
can't believe it. So,
I think it's because
shock.
we all have to know like a Michael Scott. Like somebody that's
Hmm.
similar to him that's just like, dude, shut up. Shut up. And it's not funny if you're like having that happen to you in real life, but when you're watching it on television and you can kind of relate to it, it just like, oh my God, this guy.
How much did you cry when he left?
Oh man, there's a lot of tears to be shed when that happened, especially knowing that he wasn't gonna come back. But then when he did come back, and like I was like screaming at the TV when he came back from like for Dwight's wedding. I'm like, oh
Yes.
my God.
Oh man, him and
Yep.
all
Yep.
right. Oh, sorry. It's for people who come on, man. It's been what? How long has this show been
Yeah.
out?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
Yeah. If
mm,
if if you can do spoilers, if they haven't watched it, then that's you're on your own at this
you're on
point.
your own.
Yep.
Just him and Holly. They had to be. They had to make it.
Yep. 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 They did, and I wish they would have. I don't know. I was super mad when they like for a while there. I thought they were gonna make Holly leave, and then that was gonna be the end of it. And I'm like,
Yeah.
dude, they're so perfect for each other. Why are you doing this?
Oh, they had the same stupid jokes. It was like,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
he's her lobster. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Exactly. Exactly. Like the Friends reference there. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you caught that.
I did. I like Friends too. I'm big Friends. And The Office is a little bit better to me, but I still Friends is beloved to me. It's like it's my family is huge into Friends, so yeah, it's kind of a tradition, I guess you would say, you should say.
My sister had the box sets of every season.
Oh,
And we
nice.
just she
On repeat.
yeah, on repeat. On repeat. She would probably watch a certain season more than other ones, but yeah, pretty much. And she wouldn't even be
Yeah.
watching it. She would just have it on in the house.
Mm-hmm. Just ambient noise in the background. Yeah, because it's The Office is the same way. Like I can fall asleep to it, have it playing. I can pick it up and put it down, and I'll know exactly what's going on,
Yes.
regardless of what scene, episode, whatever. Like I'll be cooking dinner 2 rooms away, and I'm quoting it as it's playing in the living room. Or laughing even though I'm just listening to the scene play out on a TV that I'm not even looking at, because I
Yes.
know exactly what's going on.
Wow. Dang. I wasn't expecting to go off on an office tangent.
Yep,
Yeah.
I wasn't
But
either,
yeah,
but here we
here
are.
we are. Movie. Bleh. Jeez. Is it 1772 or 1972? I
Um,
think it's 1770. That seems like a really long time
yeah,
I'll say 1772. It's a horror movie.
1772. It's not ringing a bell for me.
No, a lot of people haven't seen it. Um, it has the guy who played the Punisher. I want to say Thomas Jane or
Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, yep.
that guy in it. Yeah, he killed. Blah, 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 blah. I'm not gonna say anything. It's that would be my desert island movie, and I would recommend other people
Okay,
to watch it. I liked it.
I'll check it out. I was actually recently looking for new movies to watch because I'm kind of that person that puts a lot of these huge titled movies that people like are beloved and people tell you have to watch, and I was like, yeah, I'll get around to it, and then I never do. Like I just recently watched like um No Country for Old Men
Oh, so
and
good.
The Shawshank Redemption for the first time like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, you got some heavy hitters. Those are
Yeah,
good.
and like those type of movies I'm like super into, but for some reason I was just like procrastinating for an extended period of time, and then finally I'm like, I'm not working. I'm gonna take a break from recording and actually watch some of these movies that I swore I was gonna watch and never did. And then I'm like, Dum Dum, why didn't you watch these movies like forever ago? It's so good,
So good.
so good.
So good.
Yeah,
Coen
yep,
brothers are just
yeah.
masters.
They are masters at their craft.
Holy cow. I used to date someone who was into film, like directing and stuff. So
Okay.
it's like, dude, did you see that camera angle? Do you know how hard it is to get that kind of lighting? They had to do this and this and da da da. And I'm like,
Like no,
no,
no, I
I
didn't
had
know
no idea. But I love that I had that experience because I appreciate movies a lot more now. And
for sure.
yeah, so you know who you are.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Yeah, I know. The this is kind of similar, but the podcast that I do, or I guess when podcast show, whatever that's called, the '90s Nightmares, where we talk about it's like a rewatch type of thing where we're rewatching Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Mm,
Because we both used to watch it as a kid,
right.
and he's like a film nerd. Like he's like throughout the episode, it harkens back to me being a man child, and he'll be like, "Oh yeah, this camera angle, they had to do this, and they had to pan over here, and this
Yes.
lighting and stuff." I'm like,
Yeah.
and I'm just like, "Yeah, did you see that girl eating that piece of bread?"
Right. Very
And he's
different
like, "Yeah,
levels.
I'm talking about angles, and you're focusing on a girl eating a piece of bread." Like,
It's still important, bro. It's just
yeah,
as important as the
yeah.
camera angle.
Yeah, he has to like pull me back onto the road sometimes because I'll go on tangents about weird things that I caught and it's not relevant whatsoever. It's just like really stupid stuff.
No, it's important to you though.
Yeah, because this girl just eating this giant piece of bread with nothing else. I'm like, why are you just eating a piece of bread? Like, it's so weird. And that's all I could focus on the rest of the time.
It's good to get all levels of
Yeah,
appreciation.
I guess that's true.
Mm,
I'll definitely
yeah,
take that one.
tell him that. Tell him that
Yeah,
your feelings
yeah,
are
we got to
valid.
spend more time on bread.
Bread. Was it wheat? Like, I mean,
Hey, let's really dive really deep on this one. That'll get listeners coming right over.
bro, did you watch the bread episode?
Yeah, yeah, this guy talked about bread for like 15 minutes.
Favorite food? Is it bread?
Definitely, it's definitely not
No.
bread. Definitely not bread. Definitely not bread. That would have been good though.
Mm,
That would have been a really good time to spout that off. Definitely, if I had to pick, it's definitely like tacos or Mexican food for sure.
yeah.
I can eat that 7 days a week and not think twice about it
Is that your desert island food?
for sure.
Oh,
No question about it.
wow.
Yep.
You must have really
Yep.
good
And
tacos where you are.
I've had better. They're definitely not like, I guess for where I'm located in the Midwest, it's not like great. I've definitely had way better when I used to live like out in Colorado, but and I'm not talking about like shitty tacos either. I'm talking like real, authentic tacos like that. That would be my desert island food.
Dang.
Yep.
Che-
What about you?
cheesecake.
Bread?
Actually, you joke.
But
But, dude, I tried the Atkins diet and I was like, I want bread so bad.
exactly, for real.
Just tell me
It's
something I can't
impossible.
have and I will.
Right, right, right.
No sugar? Oh my gosh, a no sugar diet? Oh my gosh, that was
Yeah.
freaking
Oof.
stupid.
Yeah. Yep. I know. I tried to do the keto thing for a while too, just because it was big, and that was a mistake. It was a mistake because I'm the same way. I love carbs,
Oh, yes.
and I've definitely learned with diets too that when you remove something entirely, it makes you want it more. If you just like limit yourself and not eat like an asshole and like overeat, like and still eat it in smaller portions, like it's fine. But when you remove something entirely, like you tell me no more bread, and I'm just like, okay, I want
I
bread.
want it so bad.
I didn't have bread for 2 days, so now I'm gonna go eat a whole pizza to myself. So like that's my thinking, and that's how I react to it. Like, oh well, I did good. I didn't eat any bread for 2 days, so now I'll eat for a family of four.
I don't even normally eat that much bread. But because you told me I can't have it, I must have it every hour.
Exactly. Exactly.
Just a whole loaf.
Yeah. Yeah. Nothing else. Just dry
Just
bread.
wait a second. Let's not go. Let's not be too crazy now.
Yeah.
I'll at least toast
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. At least bare minimum.
Do you have any hobbies when you're not narrating?
Um, I dabble a little bit in like woodworking,
Mm.
and then I also go to the gym, and that's really about it. honestly, and I guess video games, but I don't know if that's really considered a hobby or not.
I think so.
Okay. Well, then I will say that too.
Okay.
Yourself?
I do everything that's not woodworking.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I'm all about the arts and crafts life, bro.
Okay.
Yeah. Um,
Making like scrapbooks?
Actually, no. I've never.
No, no scrapping. You
No,
don't scrap.
no, I don't scrap. That is the one thing that I have not gotten into. I was like,
I think it's more of a thing in the past too. I don't think people really scrapbook anymore either, because I don't think there's that many people. At least my opinion and perspective on, I guess, would be like not too many people are getting physical copies of pictures anymore. So,
mm, good point. Wow.
but like crafting, like painting, stuff like that, I'm assuming, or
Yes, painting, crochet, knitting.
Nice.
Do you know what perler beads are?
Oh my God, I used to do
No
those.
way.
Swear to God, yeah. That was so much fun.
Time consuming.
Just talking about it makes me want to do. I have a giant um tote in my garage. It's just like full of perler beads and like the wax paper
Yes.
and all that stuff from. Yeah, I used to do that all the time. And just talking about it makes me want to go do it again. That's so much. That's so cool. I would have no idea. Like I thought like we were doing it pretty consistently when we did that podcast thing, because when we would go to these little mini conventions that we had here locally, we would do like horror figures and stuff like that and try to sell them and stuff. So
Cool. What?
yeah, that's crazy. Oh, that's awesome though.
Dude, how crazy did you get? Did you get like 3D or you still flat?
Yeah, it was mostly still flat.
Yeah.
I'm sure I wasn't patient enough when it came to that type of thing. Like I'd see those big elaborate ones
Oh.
that people did, and it's just like blow my mind. I'm like, holy cow, I can't believe that's perler beads.
Oh yeah.
It's that intricate.
Oh yeah, they get crazy.
Yeah, yeah, and I know me, and I'm clumsy and stuff. I'd end up like accidentally kicking it or something, and all the beads would go everywhere. And like 2 weeks into it, and I'd be like, "Yep, well, we're not doing this one anymore. We're done. We're done."
I'm not gonna start over.
Yeah, yeah. On to the next project.
Yes, very clumsy. Also,
Hmm.
every time I try to do something with perler beads, I knock over the bucket.
Oh yeah.
I have pictures of um, just a layer of perler beads on the carpet, and that is my next hour and a half. Just and then I
Yeah.
swear off. Either I'm just like I don't care. I'm gonna leave it in the carpet, or I'm like I'm never messing with perler beads again.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely a love-hate thing, because it's incredibly rewarding when you get that piece and you're just like, "Man, this was so cool." And then the next one you're like, "All right, I'm gonna step it up a little bit on this next one. I'm gonna go a little bit out of my comfort zone." And then what I just described would happen to me, and I'm like, "All right, well, we're gonna take a extended break from perler beads because I am so mad right now. I should not be this angry at a bunch of beads, but I am."
The worst part is that I have to separate them.
Oh yeah, because you have to
I
pay more for the singular colors.
right, exactly.
It was way cheaper to buy it, and there's these big bulk things. So you separate it, and then you knock it all over, and you're just like, oh my God.
What was the point?
Yes, like I cannot believe that just happened. And it's like one of those moments where you're so mad
Mm.
that you're not even yelling. You're just like completely quiet, and you're like laughing to yourself about like
When
trying to calm yourself. Yeah, like, oh my God, that really just happened. And you're just like hands on the head, like, nope, we're done. We're done. Turn the light off and walk away.
this happened to you before, I can
For
tell.
sure, 100%. I feel like anybody that did perler beads, that had to have happened to
Oh
them at
man.
least a few times.
Yes, yeah. I had what was it? How many sections? I'm looking at them right now, like they're a murderer. It's like 1624. It's like a case that was divided into maybe 24 sections,
Hmm.
all separated beads, and I must have dropped that container 4 times.
Oh
There
man.
really is no point.
No, there isn't. That is exactly. It's all right. We're starting over. At some other point, we'll come back when I feel more motivated to do this. But right now, this is where they're gonna stay, and this is their new home.
If I find a child with ADHD and OCD, by all means, they can have at it. Yeah,
Enjoy, enjoy.
enjoy. But
Yep,
no.
absolutely. Yep, I feel that on multiple levels. Is there something that, like, potentially in the future that you want to get into that you're not doing right now? Is there something like you want to dabble in, kind of like more out of your range, or is there something more to this YouTube that you hope for it to grow into, or where are you at with that?
So I've done, um, sheesh. With all the channels I have, I'm not really hungering for anything more.
No? Okay.
No, like I have like the ASMR channel. I have Writer's Lift, which is pretty much everything else. Like if there's any writers that have any material that they want narrated, um,
Okay.
if they want me to read like the first chapter of their book, I would help out with that and post it on the channel. And any poetry or anything that's written on Twitter, I put it there. So, and I have another Reddit thing that uh, deals with other content. And I have a podcast also, but I haven't been posting anything because I have so much stuff already to do.
Right, right.
Which is why I asked why, which is why I asked, like, do you feel like your other channel, like your original channel, will suffer if you decide to go over to something that maybe you're more passionate about? Because I know that's definitely been happening for me.
Yeah, I think it's honestly, it's when you got that many irons in the fire, it's probably inevitable, you know? I
Mm.
mean, you're gonna have to put something, one or two or whatever, however many projects on the back burner, at least temporarily, until you can get back to it. Especially if there's one in particular that's doing better than the others, you're kind of automatically going to be drawn to that one probably more than the others, I would assume.
It's not even about the one that gets more attention. It's about the one that has the content that I'm more excited about.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure. That's what's going to be my next question is
Mm.
if you had to choose out of all your projects you got going, which one's your like baby, which one's you're super passionate or super proud of, or wish you could do just strictly that, or more often, whatever.
Damn. Damn. That's a tough one. Because my mood changes. So it's like right
Right.
now I would say the ASMR channel is is my baby, but that's the one I'm neglecting the most because I feel like I should pay more attention to the Writers Lift channel. Um, I, mm, but it takes so much work. The one that I want to
Right.
work on takes, and that's the
Yeah.
same thing that's gonna
Yeah.
happen to you with your true crime thing. That thing doesn't that take a lot of work?
Yeah, it's probably the two videos that I've put out are easily like it takes two or three, maybe even more times what it takes for me to put into just a narration video. But at the end of it, like I'm super proud of those videos and I'm like really passionate about it to a point where it's like, man, like I don't know. It's also it gets a little stale on the narrating end sometimes, and I just kind of put out content because I know I need to occasionally. But with that one, I'm spending even more time like delicately going over like this needs to be perfect, and and I'm not even like um. I mean, I'm sure at some point there might be a little bit of a burnout, but at least the videos that I have now and the ones I plan on working on in the future, like I'm excited to get into that. I'm stoked to put that video out there or to even just to work on it, the process alone, like and just play around and get used to the new features and this, that, and the other. And it's I don't know. I'm really excited for what that channel might turn into, or just having that on the side to scratch that itch for me. I'm really, really excited for it. But at the same time, I mean, you're dead on that if at some point it's bound to interfere with my narrating channel. There's just really no way to avoid it.
So then I would say it
Yeah,
is
it's
still
tough. It's tough.
hard. It's like trying to
It's
find your
tough.
favorite child. Have to pick it.
It right. It is. And in a lot of ways, it really is.
ASMR channel. Final answer. Oh, I said
Oh,
it.
there you go. There you go.
Oh,
There you go.
I love this channel as well. I mean, especially now that I'm able to do interviews on it and do sci-fi stories on it without
Yeah.
having to worry about losing anyone.
Right.
Right, you guys? No.
Right.
Right? Yeah, so I'm growing to love this channel a lot more again, but still I like the challenge and the challenge of needing to create ASMR. Oh, wow, Brooklyn. ASMR content that that people would probably like to listen to.
For sure.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. That's definitely sought after.
Yeah.
I really I think this is really dope what you're doing here because there's not outside of Entropic Society, and I think he only does that like as a little singlet type of thing throughout the year. This is something that just doesn't exist really out there anywhere else, and it's cool that you could at least integrate that into your channel and just get to know people in the community, and yeah, I don't know. And you're obviously very good at it too. You're not like this could be you could easily be that person trying to do that that's super awkward and there's a lot of dead space, and it's not easy to talk to, but you are. So I think you're good at this, and I think this is something you should definitely continue to pursue and do because again, there's not really anybody doing this. It'd be a nice, cool, refreshing thing to take a break from that monotonous narrating and stuff like that some people might get sick of hearing or sick of doing, I guess, instead of reaching out to narrators for a collaboration on a story, they get to talk about themselves a little bit or get a peek behind the curtain on them, and can't think of too many people that wouldn't want to do that.
You're gonna make me cry.
Well, I'm not trying to do that. Yeah. Did you drop some pearly beads? Is that why you're gonna cry?
Good one.
That would make me cry too if you did that. I'm like, I feel for you.
Dude, I'm gonna call you next time. I'm gonna give him to you to pick up. Oh my gosh, no. Thank you so much for saying that. Yeah.
For sure, absolutely.
Yeah. That means a lot. Ugh. I'm not a crier.
Yeah, I'm not either, but I get it. I get it every once in a while. It just kind of leaks out.
It leaks.
Waterworks turned on. Yeah, it happens.
Mm.
Happens to the best of us.
Um, uh, yes, thanks. So, you totally threw me off, man.
I'm sorry. Sorry.
All right. So, this is your chance to pitch your channel if you want.
Yeah. Anybody listening, if you're interested, if you like my voice, I do and read allegedly true stories over on my channel. I throw some rain back there, so it's nice and chill, and pretty similar to what Being Scared does, just in my own way. So if that's something that you're into or you might dig that, then please come check me out. And yeah, I'd appreciate that. And thank you again very much for having me. This is awesome. This is really fun.
Oh, I'm so glad. Because I know a lot of people get really nervous to talk to me for some reason. But yeah, I try to make people feel comfortable.
Yeah, for sure. Like I said, it could be super awkward, and it could be really weird because I don't know you, you don't know me, and we're
Right.
just kind of randomly, talking. So it could just been a lot of, oh yeah,
Mm.
Yeah. Ooh.
How's
Yeah.
the weather where you are?
How's that weather over
Weather?
there? Where are you from
Uh,
again? Oh
yeah.
yeah.
Go Knicks.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. But it wasn't like that at all. And so yeah, I think you should definitely continue and pursue this because this is really rad. And I'll be excited to hear some more narrators on in the future that I don't know that much about, and you kind of get to peek behind the curtain and see what they're about, and when they're not super serious and turning on their narrator voice and stuff.
Totally. Yeah. We're real people, believe it or not.
Yeah, believe it or
We're
not,
just people just like you with a microphone hanging out in our
that's it.
closets.
Yep, that's it.
All right. Well, this I don't have a name for this. I was about to say this is what is this? Thank you.
I don't
I don't
know.
know what this is. Thank you for joining me.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Thank you again for having
Oh,
me.
my pleasure. My pleasure. And thanks to you guys for listening and checking out Booze and Booze and sending stories his way as well.
Please do, please do.
Yes, he also has a subreddit, Booze and Booze. Can't say you can't
Yes.
find that, but
Yep.
without any spaces. It's just
No.
yeah.
Yep. It's just one big long thing.
All right. Well, thanks you guys. Y'all have a great rest of your week. We will see. Well, I will see. What the Take two.
Yeah, take one from the top, from the top.
Thank you so much for joining us. You have a great rest of your week. Goodbye, guys.
Bye.
I'm a professional, gosh darn it.
Oh man.
The pre-record giggles.
I know it.
You know it?
Okay.
Oh.
Serious.
Red leather, yellow leather, red leather, yellow leather.
Yellow,
red.
yellow leather, red leather, yellow leather.
Hello, everyone. I am Dodge the Grave, or Dodge. I am sitting with Amanda Jane of The Darkest Hour with me today. How are you doing, dear?
So good and very happy to be here.